You think I'll let you zone?
Welcome back to another episode after a bit of a break to Lost Media, a topic that intrigues so many because all media will not be stored or taken care of like they should and be lost to time, be it video games, TV shows, movies, even books. And even trying to search for them is hard because human memory can't be relied on because we remember things differently, or a specific thing about something that sticks with us that isn't enough to find the thing we are looking for. And this doesn't include asshole collectors that see things as trophies or for profit to the highest bidder. But enough about that, because today we're going back to television to look at 5 TV shows that have been lost to time in this episode of Lost Media. Zero Sen Hayato was created by manga creator Naoi Tsuji in 1963 that was serialized in the weekly Shonen King manga magazine. The series would later get a TV adaptation and on January 21st, 1964 up until October 27th, 1964 by Fuji TV. It would get the 6:15 time slot on Tuesdays and run for about 15 minutes with commercials, and from what has been researched on the show, there were originally 38 episodes that aired on TV, but wasn't until recently that it was actually 39 episodes. There isn't much info on the show given how old it is, and preservation isn't the first thing thought of when talking about old anime shows. But what can be gathered is the series was set around a fictional event that happened in World War II. The main protagonist, Azuma Hayato, one of the recruited pilots by the Japanese Navy. After an enemy pilot carrier shot down Hayato's father, the series follows Hayato himself in his pursuit of seeking justice and vengeance against that enemy pilot carrier. The reason why it's so hard to find any copies of the official episodes or recordings from fans is very simple. The series never had any physical releases or digital video anywhere, and is unfortunately one of the many 60s anime that never had any preservation done and is lost to time. As of 2022, there is only one episode known available to be watched, and that episode is the 22-minute pilot episode that was later reworked for the very first episode of the anime series, episode entitled Go Blast Squad. The only reason the pilot episode is known about is that it got a home release on VHS and Betamax by Japan Home Video Inc. in 1985. There was said to be a second episode released to home video called Great War Results by HMP Co. Limited. For VHS, they primarily produced adult videos, but so far the second episode has never surfaced, and the anime series will probably remain lost because of its age. The 1974 NBA AllStar Game, which was played and aired on CBS on January 15, 1974 at the Seattle Center Coliseum, is a sought-after taping of NBA history because of the Hall of Famers that were playing, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bob Lanier, and John Havlicek. The East team beat the West with a score of 134 to 123. Bob, whose stat line consisted of 24 points and 10 rebounds, was named MVP. The full television broadcast of the 1974 All-Star Game has never been made publicly available, leaving fans and historians searching for any existing footage. The All-Star Game aired nationally by CBS Sports, which is one of the network's very first early ventures into broadcasting major NBA events. The play-by-play commentary team for the game likely included prominent CBS announcers of the era, but unfortunately specific details about who was on the broadcasting team are not well documented at all at the time. As with many television programs from the 70s, the broadcast appears to have been either lost, destroyed, or taped over in years following its original airing. Archiving practices in the 1970s often prioritized reuse of expensive tape reels, and it is possible that CBS reused the tapes, so an official copy could be lost forever. Select parts of the game have surfaced online, but an actual complete recording of the 1974 NBA AllStar Game has never been found, especially with Bob Lanier's standout performance that helped him claim the game's MVP award, adding to his legacy in the 1974 season that saw him as one of the NBA's top big men. Without the full game, we can only go by written first-hand accounts of what it was like and happened at the game. There are a couple of glimmers of hope at finding a copy that ranged from being in a private collector's collection, as recorded media was commonplace by 1974, or a local news station still has a copy of the game in its archives. But until a recording of that game surfaces, the 1974 NBA All-Star Game in Seattle will remain lost media. This next one is just a series of unfortunate events, but Alive: The Final Evolution is a manga series written by Takahashi Kawashima and drawn by Ara Kotaka, creator of Noragami. The main protagonist of the story is a boy named Taisuke Kano. He lives in a world where a virus causes entire cities to unalive themselves in a mass wave. Taisuke and his friends are given the ability to evolve and survive the virus. However, a darker side awakens in each of them with more negative motivations. The animated adaptation of the series was planned to be produced by Studio Gonzo and co-produced by Anime International Company. But the adaptation was cancelled due to Gonzo being delisted from the Tokyo Stock Exchange at the time, with the studio going bankrupt. Since then, very little production material has surfaced of the anime series. The anime adaptation was officially announced on the monthly Shonen magazine website in June of 2008. At the time, it was going to be produced by then famous Studio Gonzo. Sadly, no more details about the series was ever released beyond the announcement. On July 30th, 2009, Gonzo was delisted from the Tokyo Stock Exchange because their debt exceeded their total financial assets for that year and needed to restructure to stay alive, which caused the cancellation of several projects Gonzo was working on that included Alive: The Final Evolution. The abrupt cancellation was announced by Monthly Shonen Magazine very quickly by them to the fans, and here was the official statement. Since June of 2008, we have been announcing the anime adaptation of this work in Takoban and Monthly Shonen Magazine, but we regret to inform you that we have come to the conclusion that we have no choice but to abandon the anime adaptation. Gonzo Incorporated Limited, which was supposed to be in charge of anime production, fell into the unforeseen situation of being delisted, and production was suspended from the previous year. Since then, we have made our utmost efforts to make it into an anime, but unfortunately has not come to fruition. Regarding the anime adaptation of this work, despite the enthusiastic support and expectations of the fans, we have no choice but to draw such a conclusion, and both the author and the editorial department are very sorry. We sincerely apologize to our fans and ask for your continued support of the work and its creator. Currently, it's unknown how much was done on the show before Studio Gonzo canned it, or even how much that did get work done wasn't trashed or lost itself, but a few character sheets have surfaced to give people a glimpse of what the series might have looked like. There most likely won't ever be a revival or any more info found on this series because the creator, Kawashima, finished writing the series in February 2010, and after that was done, they sadly passed away from liver cancer. The animated series The Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes that ran from 2010 to 2012 had Spider-Man guest star in 4 episodes. Episode 39, Along Came a Spider, Episode 44, Yellow Jacket, Episode 49, New Avengers, and Episode 52, Avengers Assemble, also the official series finale. There was a rumor at the time going around that Josh Keaton, who voiced Spider-Man for a number of years before Ultimate Spider-Man, and new voice actor Drake Bell took the reins of the character, was going to voice Spider-Man in these episodes. These 4 episodes premiered in Australia first before the US, and fans noted that it wasn't Josh voicing the character, but Drake Bell. Though he gave a good performance, fans wanted Josh instead. It was confirmed by Josh himself, who stated he did do recordings for the episodes, but for some reason they dubbed over his lines with Drake's. Fans did try to get interest drummed up for the Josh Keaton version of the episodes, but it didn't work. Fans questioned at the time Chief Creative Officer Joe Quesada. He explained that children watching the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes TV show right after Ultimate Spider-Man might become confused by Spider-Man sounding different. The asker of the question pointed out that some of the Avengers had made guest appearances on Ultimate Spider-Man, but not with the same voice actors. From Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Quesada gave no explanation as to why Iron Man or Thor's voice changing would seem any less jarring to those children, which means to me they just wanted more promotion on Ultimate Spider-Man more than the consistency, but that's just me personally. The head writer of the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes TV show and comic book writer Christopher Yost, who continued writing for Marvel even after the show ended, was asked in November of 2018 to release Josh Keaton's recordings for Spider-Man's guest spots on the show, which Yost wrote saying, "I don't even know who's in charge over there, but even if I did, they are a pretty forward-looking group," which probably means they don't really care as long as the replacement does a good enough job for the character. The Josh Keaton cut of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes will remain lost until someone can get a copy of the recordings. Care Bears was a 1985 animated TV series produced by Deke Entertainment based on the same franchise of the same name created by greetings card brand American Greetings. It aired on September 14, 1985 and ended its run on November 23, 1985 and consisted of only 22 episodes. Originally, each episode of the Care Bears were made to be 11 minutes long each, but for syndication and DVD, they've been trimmed down to 10 minutes for an unknown reason. For most other regions like France, Germany, and Spain, they used the edited 10-minute versions for their dubs. The only English versions of the uncut episodes to release to DVD in the US are Lucky Charm and Soapbox Derby. The former is on the 2003 DVD Bedtime Stories, and the latter is on the 2003 DVD The Last Laugh. Both are shown together as one program on the UK DVD Care Bears Volume 2. All the English DVD releases of those two stories use the edited cuts. However, the DVD releases of the complete Geek series in France and Germany do include the 11-minute versions a bit sped up to PAL format, but don't feature the English audio. It was unknown if the English versions of the missing scenes were released in any other format. The earliest US TV recordings that have been found were the 10-minute syndication edits. On January 10th, 2023, user Supreme Dragon Ball uploaded a compilation of mid-80s UK recordings of 14 Care Bear episodes from the Geek series, confirming the uncut versions in English did air in the UK. As of now, 8 of the episodes have yet to be fully recovered in English. That should do it for this episode of Lost Media. I'm going to work double time to get a few of these out within the next few months on a few different topics, but let me know what topic of Lost Media I should look into for a future episode. Leave it down below, but with that, stay gold, and I'll see you guys next time in the newest video.